So looking back on it, what's your thoughts and when you're you know you stick it in the car or something or whatever.
Well, since I left Austin, it's been about 4 years now. Um, Meeting a bunch of new people up here in New Mexico and being sort of semi-retired. Well, I think I'm completely retired at this point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I was really proud to give copies of that project to the new people I was meeting,
yeah.
and I told them the story about we wanted to record something for the road, and they were looking at me and they go, "Oh," I said, "It's guitar players, and we're playing the blues, and just
And
how."
they start kind of backing up and
Yeah,
yeah,
right,
oh,
right. They
look at
go,
the time.
four guitar players.
Oh wow, oh, I was supposed to call my mom.
But I was really proud to be able to have that in my hand and give to people. And, nobody ever would tell me they liked it or anything. But anyway,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
felt good about it. And the fact that I got to do that record with these musicians before they actually left, I left Austin, which I felt was a really important um, thing because it was a good record
yeah,
of playing, and it's an instrumental record basically.
yeah,
I mean, there's some vocals, but it's not a songwriter's record, which has
yeah,
sort of been what was my niche in the market.
yeah,
Which what I was doing really in the
yeah,
studios, and so because of that, it has endurance and legs, as we
yeah,
call it,
yeah,
and the playing is universal.
yeah.
It comes back to the blues. And the blues is the basis of most of our American music. So, hold on, Dan. Where's the picture of Chloe that was on the? I'm using it as a ramp.
Hi Nina,
Hey, Nina.
come get on TV.
Come here.
We'll put you on the TV. If you tell
No, I don't want to be on TV.
you have to tell us how great the record is though, or I'll overdub it. Uh, so where were we about?
Legs. The music
Yeah,
has legs,
yeah,
and you put it on today. You put on that pause for the cause, um, which basically came out of a set closer blues shuffle
yeah,
that we used to play in the Los Gonzo
yeah,
band.
and actually opener closer for a whole lot of bands.
It could have been
You'd start with a shuffle and
right,
end with one. At least you guys did almost all the time. It seemed like
right.
it was a Texas kind of thing.
And I didn't know Alan so well or Bert, but John and Derek being in Austin, of course,
Yeah,
um, Derek had been playing with every blues artist and that came through Austin and Anton's and seen him for years, but never having got to play with him much. So that was
yeah,
a real kick. And looking back on that,
yeah,
he plays so good, man. And
yeah,
Slim's Rock, S Tune is
yeah,
really cool. One of the best, I think.
yeah,
And John Inman, of course, and I still have. We've been playing a lot of music together
yeah,
over the years,
yeah,
and I've done some recording here in New Mexico, man. And they send
yeah.
it back to John Inman, and he puts his part on.
Wow! Oh,
But we're
very cool.
still we're
Very cool.
still on records
You know,
together.
that's cool. You can do that. You know, at least.
Yeah, everybody's doing that now.
Yeah, yeah,
But there's just something to be said for getting six musicians who are sort of like-minded and in the studio together, all playing at the same time. Wow, what a concept!
yeah. And for most people, you would think four is too many. The people are going to be repeating stuff. There's going to be, how do you tell it apart? But there really are four different styles and personalities and ego sizes, but none of them small, which is this is why Glenn was such an important pick. You and Glenn. Um,
Well, Glenn's a world-class player. I really miss him. I did a lot of playing with him for many years in
yeah,
Austin. We did a lot of records together and a lot of sessions. And
yeah,
of course, moving out of Austin and growing up in Austin, I miss a lot of my buddies. And I'm just really kind of mourning and grieving right now because I know Austin's been shut down, man. And
Yeah.
for Austin to not have a bar scene or
Yeah.
have jamming going on, and
Yeah.
not only music but theater, dance,
Yeah.
film. I mean, Austin's really growing in my hometown,
Yeah.
so I'm really upset about that. But I hope everybody is staying safe. And this record is just a little contact with that old
Yeah.
Austin. And I thought the studio was incredible. Jacob was an incredible
Yeah.
engineer.
Well,
Uh,
you led me to Arlen, which led me
yeah,
to Lisa, and I explained the thing and my needs for analog, and she said Jacob, and I wanted to talk to him too, and she just said, oh, he can do old school, he can do old school, he knows how to do it, and I meet him the first time, and he's like 6'10", and this big old long hair. He might be 30, 32. I thought, well, I don't know if, it, but man, he did it. He recorded what you guys did for better or worse.
everything worked out pretty good. And as far as looking back on it now, I think it makes it even more of a unique project. The way we did it, the way your idea of coming up with doing it. So, but we had talked about doing it again, doing it some more. We'll see down the line, what happens. But
Yeah,
this is it was real chancy, but I think it worked in a lot of
yeah.
ways.
And we're both sober, so I think the chances of it happening again are pretty null and void.
We could go we could go off in that way if you'd
If
like.
we go off the wagon, we might talk about it and just just
well, well, Dad, I'm glad to hear you're sober.
well, I'm not today, but I might be tomorrow. It was something that anything you wanted that was teachable from this thing to the younger people who, when this is all over with, might go back and when music is back to music again.
Right, right. Well, number one, I think that anybody interested in playing a band or guitar, especially, would be interested in not only seeing and hearing these guys play. They all play very good, but different, and they were able to, not only the person who was actually playing the solo at the time, but the other three guys were behind there comping very nicely. And sometimes they would put on a little effect, get a little keyboard effect, since there's no keyboard in the band. And as musically, kids watching this, they might kind of clue into that, because not only being a good soloist, you're called on to be a good accompanist, and
Yeah.
that's a major thing, I think, for people. Also,
But
this
what if I could stop you right there? That was the
yeah,
reason that I separated the guitars in the mix,
yeah,
so that you could tell what each guy was doing, and they want to go. It's all in the middle. No, 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 no. How can you tell who's doing that? No, separate them. So when you're listening to it, it's Bert, John, Derek, Alan, in your car,
right,
so you can always tell who's uh, and who's laying out.
yes, right.
And that
And
didn't
but you
happen
could
very often.
we went around with Jacob a little bit on that in the mix, but
Yeah.
you persevered, thank goodness. I think that this project was predominantly the blues, so anybody that's writing music or playing music, uh, the blues is so influential and so basic
Yeah.
that we were all going back there ourselves. Now, Bert, Alan, Derek, and John too are mostly blues musicians, I think. Um, and I played a lot of blues in sessions and stuff. I wasn't necessarily a blues musician, but I tried to be as versatile as possible, and Glenn too. So I think that not only were we just having fun and recording these songs with some good players and playing in a band, and having it being recorded on analog tape and everything, but I think that we brought all of our past experience into the session because it was so unique, and there were no overdubs, maybe a few overdubs and a few things that didn't work.
Yeah.
We fixed a few things,
Yeah.
but generally
Yeah.
there's no overdubs on this stuff.
Yeah.
So what you hear is what you get, and that is not really the way it's done anymore. I don't even think blues records are done that way anymore, but maybe most of them, maybe the rhythm section. There was no going back and fixing the vocal or going back and fixing that guitar solo, really. So, I mean, that's a real
Well,
challenge.
and when you don't, when you do it all by track and people at separate times, you can't really have dynamics at all that happen right
Yes,
then. And if you're all in separate rooms, you can't really. You just about have to be right there. But then every amp in there is real loud, and every microphone in there hears every amp in there, and that's why you can't get away